broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the following after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. My name is Nando Velasquez, and I'm back.
Hey, welcome.
We missed you last week. I'm glad I was missed, and of course I'm back as Daisy's back, so I got to be back for this one. You can find me on Twitter at NandoVel, and thank you for joining in. Thank you for coming on YouTube and or iTunes or SoundCloud or Periscope earlier with Pegah. Let's introduce the rest of the group here. Let's start off right to my immediate left.
Hey, my name is Micheal Andrew. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Micheal_Drew. That's Micheal E-A-L. Pegah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pegah Rad. You can follow me on Twitter at Pegah Rad.
Hey everybody, Sean Overman here, and you can follow me at Sean Austin O and on Twitter and Instagram.
Hey.
Great, awesome, and you can keep up the conversation when you're tweeting at us by putting on ABTV following, I believe, right?
Yes.
So awesome. So I missed you guys. Last week was such a good episode. I was so bummed to not be here, but this week did not disappoint at all. Lots going on.
Yeah, you can make it a good one.
I know, absolutely. Let's start off. We saw the dream sequence. We've seen too many of these lately, so I'm going to skip over the dream sequence with Ryan and Joe. Yes, they love it.
No,
we'll get to it.
We'll
get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get to it. But let's start with Ryan getting messed with because he killed. Well, he didn't kill Theo. Theo killed his family. And ruined his cover, his sacrosanct cover, as Ryan determined later on, and he's pissed. Yes. He is totally pissed. So he is absolutely messing with Ryan Hardy. Getting him pulled over by the NYPD like he's armed and dangerous.
He hacked the dispatch machine in the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Right on cue.
And he is, this is scary. I would think, just imagine this one man is pissed off at you and he can mess with you from anywhere.
I mean, he read his email or something from his sister, like, hope you're doing well, bro. Like, that's scary.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Smiley face. I didn't know he had another sister.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's the same sister.
It's the same sister?
Yeah,
No,
his sister never died. Yeah, it's the same sister who's out of town. Yeah.
It's the same, okay.
Yeah, it's the same sister.
All right.
But still, he only had one sister. But still, he's messing with that. Fraud alert. The traffic cam was probably the freakiest thing because obviously he's watching Ryan Hardy at that moment.
At all times.
Theo's turned into he went from being super creepy to being kind of super cool. Like when I was done watching this episode, I was like, it's kind of he's pretty. He's like a military super agent.
I'm gonna be over here.
No, I mean, he's kidding. Not even with the random killings, but just the way he's going about getting his revenge. Like you can't stop him. He's wearing all these different masks. Like what was the reference you said? Bruce Wilson,
the Jackal.
Yeah, Bruce Wilson, the Jackal. It's like he was like a different person. He was like a chameleon.
So cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, we've been calling him Theo, and I believe when we first heard Michael Ealy was playing this role, they released his character name as Theo, but as we found out this episode, Theo didn't exist before 2007, so his name isn't even Theo.
We don't know what his name is.
I missed that.
We don't know what his name is technically, yeah.
He came in during one scene looking like, what's
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz.
He came in all Lenny Kravitz out, Mr. Salma.
Yeah.
And he was he speaking Arabic or something?
Yeah, I think it's Arabic.
Yeah, he was speaking. Well, this guy's incredibly smart, but even he sounded like Lenny Kravitz when he was speaking in English to me. I was like, oh man.
Artistic.
Yeah, we've seen him in so many different looks so far and accents.
And the Wolverine look.
Yeah.
When he was shooting the gun.
And he has so many talents. Like he shoots and I don't know.
He shot a bullseye.
He shot a bullseye.
Did shoot a
Yeah,
bullseye.
he's on point.
He's on point.
He's a superhuman.
He is
He's a super soldier.
He is.
He's like evil Captain America.
And he's a pissed super soldier.
Yes.
That's the most important thing to realize. This man is definitely out to screw with with Ryan, really. Nobody else but Ryan, but he'll get to his sister, he'll get to everybody, and we see, him going back to Juliana Barnes. If you remember Juliana Barnes, she was the very uptight paralegal from the first half of the season before she got hit in the iron by Mark, killed with an iron.
We thought she was menacing at first, but then we end up finding out she's a total wimp.
Yeah, she just wanted to pay off her law school loan or whatever.
But I guess Strauss trusted her to hide this secret code book that she put in the lining of a couch in her room, and Theo.
Pretty smart.
I guess
In her office.
And he found it.
office. Yeah, that's a little. I find that a little weird that Strauss trusted her enough to do that, because again, she ended up not really being a follower as much as just a paid
WTF.
paralegal.
That's a WTF.
A little bit, but I
No,
thought
the
that was a little
WTF
weird.
was on the security guard. Oh, I'm just going to stand here and watch you and then get my throat slit.
There's another WTF with Tom too, but we'll get into that.
Do you
later.
really think that security guards are that? Well, nothing against security guards in general, but do you really think they're going to call for backup or do anything like the FBI would do? It's
No.
probably just one guy.
Yeah.
Well, he had a gun, so he must know some protocol.
Yeah.
Did he have a gun?
Yeah, wasn't that what he reached for?
I think he was reaching for like a taser,
Maybe a
or
taser.
a baton or something.
or a flashlight. Like, hey, wait a second.
Pepper spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to get a better look at what you're doing.
Yeah, he creeped up on him like you would think if it's security, it's like, hey, from I don't know.
I know, yeah, he was just watching him. Then when he turned, he looked shocked. Like, oh, you saw him staring at you.
But the way he said it too, he's like, "Do not move" or something like that.
And
like,
then he moved.
yeah, he was like,
I know what he was going for. He was going for his cell phone to call the police.
Maybe. I mean, look, I would imagine that he doesn't have many, intruders like that going into a dead woman's office that's still around.
You're secretly like the best murderers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I said, I'm surprised Theo even knew where to find the book. I mean, he had to look for it, but he
tore
still
the place.
figured it out.
He tore it apart.
I want to say that was the same office they used for Man Attack. It looked just like it.
We were all saying, maybe you guys can agree or disagree. You can comment on YouTube. Actually, we are live on YouTube, by the way. So,
Hey, guys.
Oh, hey,
we are live on YouTube.
guys.
But, we thought it was Manatech. We kept thinking it was Manatech until we saw Juliana's name, and then it kind of hit us that must have been the paralegal office. So that was a little bit interesting. We were trying to figure that one out. But anyway, so we have this big code book with Theo, and it's got all these letters and numbers. It's some kind of old school. As smart as Theo is, I guess, when you go old school,
He's got
doesn't
some
know.
limits.
When you go analog, the digital can't break the analog. Handwritten notes. It's probably Dr. Strauss's handwritten notes in some kind of code cipher, and he can't break it with his computers.
But he was able to pick up on one, Gary.
Is that what that was?
No, I think what that was, because that confused me in the beginning too, until we figured out the reveal, and we can get more into Gary. But I think because he couldn't figure out the code book, he looked up Gary. He looked up people with certain specifics, because Gary was a guard. Because he couldn't have just found in the code book that Gary happened to be a guard at Joe Carroll's prison. I think he actually, that was his plan B.
Yeah, Gary is definitely not one of Strauss's followers.
Yeah.
Wait, was he really a guard though?
Yeah,
he was.
No, I
He
thought.
really worked there.
He really worked there, yeah.
That was a little confusing because we figured. I mean, I didn't want to get to this late, but we can get this down. I just figured that when Gary was going in from Gen Pop, to that security guard, that Theo gave a fake profile. Because that's what I figured it was. I figured Theo's the master computer hacker.
what I
He can
thought.
give a fake profile.
Yeah.
But then when the FBI was tracing the phone call later on, they traced it to that woman's house, that called woman's house,
Yes.
and
His
her
wife's
ex-husband was a guard at that prison.
But I thought that just pulled up whatever was in the system at the moment.
Oh.
Not that he was actually somebody. Because I thought he worked. The guy, when he was checking in at the prison, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here? I thought you were over at the other place or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is a prison guard.
he
it's
is.
just that he got moved
He got
around.
moved. He got moved
right?
around.
And
Okay.
he
Because he
was
called
just,
him Gary. He knows who he is.
he knew
Sure.
the other guard that was in the booth.
That confused me too, only because I figured he had you know what? If he had a legitimate, tag, then I guess he was the real deal. Yeah.
okay.
At first I figured that Theo duplicated that, but how can you really, he can only do so much. I don't think he'd have a 3D printer to do that.
Oh, you never know.
Oh, you never know. You totally never know. Let's get into Gary a little bit later, because I want to talk about a couple of things that probably weren't part of the main story, but still very, very important. First of all,
your homegirl.
Daisy's back.
Daisy's back.
How does your garden grow?
So and we can talk about a little WTF with that too. But Daisy's back, and we see her working as a cocktail waitress at a strip club.
Yes.
In Atlantic City.
Yes, in AC, and she's picking up this guy who's got a beach house. Yeah. Walter, or Kyle, as she likes to call him.
That's so sad. I mean, he's not coming back, Daisy. Just let it go.
That's not sad. I don't feel bad for Daisy.
I don't feel bad for her.
She's a murderer, Pegah.
I know,
she's a mass murderer.
She's like holding on to her dead husband.
As much as I love her, obviously she has a couple of issues to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, it didn't go the way she wanted. She's like, I'm just going to kill him. Like right behind the earlobe.
Do you think that she was there to actually try to move on and hook up with this guy? Was she there for money? Like, what was she there for?
Yeah, we were talking about that when we saw this scene because she wanted him to be called Kyle. She wanted to call him Kyle. He's like, you can call me whatever you want. And I don't think she would have done that to Kyle, to the real Kyle, obviously. Right. So I think she missed some kind of, she's by herself. So I feel like she kind of missed some kind of connection. So she wanted to pretend this guy was Kyle. You guys didn't think she wanted to sleep with him. I think she wanted to sleep with him.
Yeah, I think she wanted to get her groove on. She wanted to get a little, it's probably been a while.
I thought it was just for money.
She needs affection.
I thought it was just for money, but if she's gonna do it, she might as well call him Kyle.
She's probably gonna praying mantis it. Make love, then hot.
She wanted to believe it was Kyle. And when she was getting into it, when they were really getting down to business, she couldn't do it. So that's why she ended up killing him. And she's like, you know what? I was going to take his money anyway, so let's just take it.
Because he was too forceful.
I think he was too forceful. Yeah. I think if he slowed down, they would have gotten it on. She was like, slow down. He wouldn't slow down. He wouldn't listen to her.
But she likes strangulation and suffocation. See, what if Kyle was doing that stuff to her before?
It depends on the mood. She's not in strangulation mood. She's still mourning, so she needs to be caressed.
But
he wasn't caressing.
But you know what? She kills him, but even if he slowed down, or even if she ended up going for it, it probably would have stopped halfway through because we got another surprise. Mark's back too, or Luke.
How did he find her?
Wait, quick question before we get to Mark.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Quick. When Theo was looking like Lenny Kravitz, he was looking for a woman. He was looking. He said something. He said, "Where is There's a name." He said.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Where's Mrs. something or other? She's been out for 7 days.
Was that Daisy? I thought he was talking about.
Where's Penny?
Yeah, I think he was talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then I was thinking that she escaped, and then.
But 7 days only? I don't know.
Well, this is the one thing that I do have a small problem with, because we still don't have the answer to why Theo spared Daisy, why he let her go.
Maybe she was supposed to be there.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about that, because it just feels too weird. Because then why would Daisy be out in Atlantic City being a cocktail waitress trying to steal some guy's money?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Because the Lenny Kravitz pad looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, she wouldn't have to be working.
But she doesn't want to be taken care of with this guy who could potentially kill her at any moment.
She's afraid.
She wants to be out there free on her own.
Wait, what city was this pad in? Do we know?
This pad was
York,
10.
probably.
Well, the pad was 10 minutes from the place where she was at. So she's in AC. So it was probably Jersey Shore somewhere.
Oh, you're talking about Walter's place.
Yeah, Walter's place in the Jersey Shore.
Lenny Kravitz Theo. It's like a toy with new clothes. Like, this is Lenny Kravitz Theo, and later on is Wolverine Theo.
I love it.
The next week is like
Atlantic City. For those of you not from the East Coast, I'd say is about 2 hours southwest of New York City. So it's kind of like for those LA people who like to go to Vegas. It's closer to Vegas as to LA.
So it's like San Diego for us.
Yeah, kind of like going to San Diego, except for a lot more fun and not as sunny.
Okay.
I would think the sunny San Diego.
And you can't go to unless you go to TJ. I guess that's a different story.
Other story.
That's a whole nother story. All right, before we get completely off track. So Mark is back, although Daisy's super scared of him, and she keeps calling him Mark, and he says Mark drowned. This is Luke,
That's so creepy.
Awesome. I love this.
He's like flying off the end there.
Yeah, because we all, I would agree, I think, that we all would think that Luke is the more dangerous of, even though Luke is dead too, Luke's persona is scarier than Mark's persona.
Yeah.
And a wannabe Luke would probably be scarier, because now he's trying to be what he thinks Luke is. So that's kind of even more scary.
He hesitates a lot less. I thought he was really gone, up until that point later on.
Where she showed him the booty.
Where he asked her, strip.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Luke obviously fills a void that Mark doesn't have. You know, it's like, I guess he needs to feel like he's complete by having both brothers inside his head. And you know, Luke's more forceful, more direct, and we see him. And look, you guys keep teasing me about Daisy, and I know we're gonna get into it. I know we're gonna get into this, but no, I'm just saying,
everybody wants to sleep with her.
Everybody apparently wants to. The two guys in this scene obviously wanted something from her, but
three guys actually.
Three guys, including
two, or you two, but that makes four. There's two inside Mark's head.
The two inside Mark's head. I guess that makes sense. And four with me. Thanks a lot. So yeah, he pretty much gets her to take off her clothes, and a lot of comments from us on that. So we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to be cruel. I still think she's hot. I still think she's hot.
Yeah, she looked good.
She still looked good.
She looks great.
Yeah.
Well, dude, there's a lack of booty. That's what I think.
She put some stripper moves on him.
She did put stripper moves.
She got on his lap, and when she started to try to kiss him, he turned into Mark.
Yeah.
It was just like, but you know what I did like in that scene was him using the knife and just keeping it erect the whole time. That was so funny. Great metaphor.
I like how you use that word.
Wait, quick question. So if Mark gets laid, I'm sorry, Luke. If Luke gets, no, it's Mark. If Mark gets laid, will he suddenly like emerge from like a cocoon and like as like this murdering butterfly with confidence?
No, well here's the thing. Well, that's an interesting.
That's a question. Has he ever gotten laid?
No, probably
Mark
not.
Has ever gotten laid.
Well, don't forget. I mean, the thing that set Mark off, or the thing that set Mark/Luke off, is remember this from season 2 with Emma, is that he doesn't allow anyone to touch him without his permission. He doesn't feel comfortable with contact unless he trusts somebody.
Did they ever hook up? Emma and
No,
Mark?
they didn't because they tried to, and that's when he freaked
okay.
out. So obviously, yeah, he doesn't feel comfortable around certain girls, except for his mom. Obviously, was the only woman I think that really was able to
caress him.
So yeah, to kind of answer your question, I don't know if Mark will ever get some.
Well, here's hoping he doesn't, because I'm afraid what will happen. He'll get laid. He'll go like, oh, all this power I have in my hand.
Just like you when you had your first time, right?
You have no idea. I've been on a rampage since.
I can tell. I bet you our listeners can tell too.
Oh, but I will say that was an awesome scene with both actors. Just seeing Daisy, with the total, in fear of Luke/Mark, and then she kind of just walked out after she said, "Oh, I guess there is some Mark in there," and she just stormed out.
That was a bold move.
Yeah.
I mean, he can tick at any moment. So for her to say that to him
was
and just
bold.
Casually walk off.
That's
like,
my
dang.
Daisy. And the other thing about that scene, which sets up the other section, is that, Luke, I don't want to call it Luke, why not? Or Mark Luke. Mark Luke wanted to kill Daisy because he obviously is pissed off. He wants revenge for her betrayal for siding along with Strauss, and he was very much going to do it before the whole sex scene, but she proved to be useful because she said she knows how to get to Mike Weston, and we know that, Mike Weston and Mark Luke are like Joe and Ryan Hardy right now.
Just call him Mook or Mook.
All right, we'll call him Mook. I like Mook. I don't know if anyone's calling, if there are any other hashtags out there for this. Let's ship them. Let's have them together. Mook. Anyway, so yeah, but pretty much Mike and Mook. I like that actually. Are like Joe and Ryan. I would say at this point they definitely are stuck together, and Mook wants to get at Mike. So everybody, hashtag Mook, M-U-K-E. Mook.
Hashtag Mook, hashtag the following.
Yes, absolutely. So, so the Max Cam is still up. We know the Max Cam is still up because Tom is creepy. He's creeping on
He's
Max.
just hurt. He's not creepy. He's just
a creeper.
He's in
boyfriend.
love, and that's what happens.
Really?
So wait, we can feel bad for Daisy. Daisy over here murdering people, but Tom...
See, but
he's hurt.
The FBI is held to higher standards. How can you spy on your girlfriend and not turn in evidence?
It's such a huge risk to take. I mean, he's tampering with evidence, really, is what it comes down to. So, I mean, he must really love her to take that risk.
I feel you, Tom. I've been there. No, I haven't been there. But
Let's look at your laptop now.
I haven't been there at that stalking point. But, I mean, he's good,
He's hurt.
And now he knows that he saw her sleep with Mike. So now he's in pure, jealous, stalking boyfriend mode.
He probably
But the
thinks.
thing is, like, for me, if I see a camera set up and a laptop hooked up to where I can stream the person that I love, I'd be like, yo, there's a camera in your house. Who put it there?
Well,
why?
He probably wanted to but after the cheating part. After seeing Mike, he saw Mike on it. Like, Mike was on his lady.
Sure,
and he's watched. Like, it could have been like 2 hours. And Mike is there just like, and Tom's just like, wow.
It's a really sad thing because
Tom... was that vivid?
No.
Sorry.
Tom was just in his own prison these last several episodes.
Yeah,
when the truth could have set him free.
Yeah.
It could have, and the safety of Max. Like, find who did this.
That's
Maybe,
true. You're right. You're
give
right.
up this laptop that can possibly help us find Mark. Like, I don't know.
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, I mean, this is a major thing. I mean, this is why you don't mess around at the workplace.
Yeah.
This
right.
is a good example. This is something they should show to like human resource departments when they talk about like sexual harassment.
not be like Tom.
And don't be like Tom.
Watch season 3.
Next thing you know, someone's dating someone at AfterBuzz, and you're just looking at the live feed, seeing what's going on. Oh my God!
Look at their chemistry.
She's too close to Sean Overman. I don't know what's going on. This is what happens. But yeah, I mean, look, Tom is really causing a lot of havoc by not reporting this to the FBI. You know, they could have possibly gotten some vital information.
Yeah.
And
it's very selfish.
yeah, it is kind of selfish. And you know, I don't know. Do you think that at this point we see what Tom does? First, Tom walks in on Max and Mike when they discover the whole laptop.
WTF. That's my
That is
WTF.
a little WTF.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
WTF.
That is
He's
because
like right on cue.
Right on cue. Here's the whole thing. Runs just in time. I mean, it's like, it's in the building. Okay, let's try to get the exact location, and then bam.
And he smashes
I know.
it.
yeah.
And they're going to find the keyboard piece underneath the bench next episode. Early prediction.
Early prediction.
Hashtag early prediction.
Well, that's pretty smart. I like that one. I like that one.
That is pretty good. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a WTF because maybe Max and Mike should have been in a closed room when they start talking about stuff like this. But I guess it's FBI headquarters. They don't expect a mole to be there.
Yeah.
Again.
You know, again.
And also, what's the girl's name that was supposed to be working with Mike on it? The
Agent
red shirt?
Sloan.
Agent Sloan.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like Max was jealous of Sloan, so she somehow just took over that assignment? When she brings it up to Mike, she's like, well, I'm working on it now. Aren't you happy? And he's like, I guess. Like, you want to work with me? Like,
That's true.
I feel like she took it right from her.
That's an interesting perspective that you say that, but I feel like she was more concerned about Mike trying to find Mook again.
You just wanted to say Mook.
I wanted to say it so bad.
I saw it as like a jealous
Well, that could be that
standpoint.
too. I know where your mind is. But yeah,
No, because she overhears Sloan and Mike's all excited, and I wouldn't say they were flirting, but he had this huge smile on
Yeah,
his
he
face
did.
Yeah.
with like the hope of trying to find Mark.
Well, I mean,
Luke.
yeah, we know that Max has had problems with this before, and so for her to start helping Mike out to find Mook, that's just weird.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a little interesting. So she's kind of going back to him. I mean, look, in all fairness, Tom has not just been creepily looking at the Max cam to see, for any other evidence about her and Mike. He's also been very distant to her. He hasn't been upfront. It seems like it's pretty obvious to Max that something's wrong. So if anything, Tom might be pushing her away, and next thing you know, she ends up with Mike. And Tom's like, see, I was right. It's a typical relationship type thing.
Yeah.
He's causing it right now instead of being upfront and honest, at least.
And he's been so nice to Mike, like in the locker room, like, "Hey, dude, I'll see you out there."
Yeah.
Like,
He wasn't nice, like genuinely. He was only nice because he wanted him to stay away from his locker. That's the only reason he brought attention to himself by doing that. Like, oh, I'm gonna cover up my bags and stuff in the laptop really fast.
Yeah.
Come on.
So here's an interesting question. So the laptop is broken. Whether we find out that they figure out that it's Tom, because they think right now there's a mole in the FBI building. The cameras are still up, and it's obvious that Daisy has access to the Max cam without using the original laptop. So she can pretty much, I think they could probably go to any laptop and just log in, and see this.
It was through a web portal.
Yeah, it was through a web portal. So I'm guessing that, this is still this is still something very dangerous that Mark can use against Max to get at Mike, right?
And to get at Ryan Hardy.
And well, I think he wants Mike first. But if he gets Ryan Hardy too, yeah, of course, because he still has Ryan and Joe, I think, in his sights as people who messed with him and were responsible for the death of his brother and his mom. So yeah, absolutely. And now, of course, everyone thinks there's a mole in the FBI. So we haven't really seen. I don't think we've seen the last of this. And I like your early prediction. Yeah. So that's pretty much the side stories that are going on. So again, I'm happy to see Daisy back. And we'll leave it at that. Let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, let's talk about Gary Barnes. So we already talked a bit about him. We found out he was a guard. Benson.
Yes, I think it was Benson.
No.
Benson.
Is it Benson?
I got Benson.
Yes, it is Benson. Why did I say Barnes? Gary Benson. Thank you so much. So we find out him. We see Theo with the mutton chops.
Yeah, wow.
His Logan look, Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
And we see them bonding. And, Theo has his own little WTF moment in the fact that, he never got rid of the burner phone that the FBI happens to have, an alarm at if it gets used again.
He's getting sloppy.
Yeah, that is really sloppy. It's almost too sloppy. It's a WTF. Yeah. It's like
he's because Ryan's pushed him to the edge. He's not working on his time clock anymore. Now he's a little jittery now. He lost his family. There's more emotion. He's angry. He's making mistakes.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's what I took it as.
I think that's part of it. I think he's also distracted because now he has his other plan that we see is to talk to Joe Carroll. So I think he's multitasking a little bit and he's kind of lost a little focus.
Mm-hmm. He's been on the defensive and now him being on the offensive. He's doing a lot, but he's also making some mistakes too.
Yeah. So that's the first mistake. I think the other mistake that I just want to bring this up. I don't think it really applied to this episode, but maybe it will in the future. Is they have a good profile on the FBI has a good profile on Theo. I mean, they discovered that Theo's not his real name, and they somehow figured out that most of his killings have been categorized as murder-suicides, and there's been a lot of chat room action. So I think that's important just to bring up because I think maybe for predictions, maybe we'll figure something out with Theo, but I think that's something I think that they didn't have before with this character because he was a ghost, and now they're finally starting to put a profile on Theo, which I think is pretty cool and pretty interesting. So they are starting to get some ammunition against him. But regardless, so Gary has been recruited. We were freaking out when we saw Gary walking into the prison as a guard.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
For sure I thought he was going to help get Joe out. And then things flipped real quick.
Yeah.
That was a really good scene.
We were all like, I thought Ryan was going to get him out. And it ended up looking like Theo.
Nobody's getting him out.
He ended up using Gary as his avatar, as his puppet, because he's always behind the scenes, always pulling the strings. So he has to put someone in there to do the communication for him.
And I love how he brainwashed Gary, like, you are the one.
Like
You're
Neo?
the chosen one. Yeah.
You will, it'll be
Totally
historic. You will change the face of history, or whatever it was he said.
This is your rebirth.
Exactly.
Like the Phoenix.
They know how to manipulate. I think that's something like him, Carroll, Strauss. They know how to manipulate the weak.
I love that he pumps this guy up. And maybe because he pumped him up, and then Theo, of course, wanted to go back in the house and get the mask, probably because Theo's the ghost and he knows how to clean everything up. This guy's so pumped up and he sees the phone, he calls his ex-wife, I'm not a loser, you'll see. And he kind of set that up a little bit.
Like, did he not have a phone himself? Like, he just
That's a good, well, you know what? I think maybe he wanted to call from a different line because she probably wouldn't pick up his call. His ex-wife doesn't want to talk to him, so he just calls on a different number.
Good explanation.
Yeah.
Could be.
I thought it was so funny during the conversation with Gary, with Theo / Gary, the Gary, and Joe Carroll.
Yeah.
Because right in the first sentence, or the first few sentences, he says something to Joe, and Gary is smiling. Like, he legitimately is like, yeah! And then Joe looks at him like, and his smile kind of fades. It was so funny.
I thought it was funny because I felt like Gary was built up as this really badass guy. I mean, he had a psych eval, he was in the military, he can shoot, and I thought like Theo was recruiting him for this army. And again, we thought because of the way his ID popped up during the attempt to decipher the book, that I thought this guy was going to be like one of Strauss's students, and he ended up looking kind of puny in that guard uniform.
Well, what did Joe say? He's like, I'd have to say he's a little underqualified or something.
He's a foot soldier. He was just using him. Like the whole thing was just to use him to get inside to go see Joe.
Yeah,
which is pretty smart.
But it's so beautiful to see, Joe and Theo, interacting like that. I mean, first of all, we didn't even talk about the fact that Joe finally figured out Theo was the person that Ryan was talking about because he saw the newspaper article. He tried reaching Ryan, and Ryan was like, "No, don't want to talk to you.
Send him over to Nick Fury."
Yeah,
send Nick Fury.
But Joe couldn't escape via Theo. Theo would not let him escape. Theo just wanted information on Ryan. But I love that Joe. It's all about who's Ryan with now. Who's he sleeping with now?
So crazy. So jealous.
What is this relationship?
The back and forth banter between Theo and Joe was just really good. And I wrote down one thing that they said where he flattered Joe. He said, "You were his best student," and Joe came right back and he said, "Oh, flattery is so pedestrian."
Yes.
I was so glad to see them to finally, because that's what I've been complaining about the last episode. I thought they didn't get a chance. I was really hoping for a Theo Joe square off, and I'm really glad they did that.
That was so brilliant too, to do it without Theo in the room. I mean, because it still felt like the Ryan Hardy, Joe Carroll, interrogation room scenes. You didn't have to have Theo in the same room with Joe to have that awesome interaction between the two of them.
That's totally. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just love the way he was talking through Gary. Like he became him.
Yeah, Gary was even getting emotional. He was saying it with some passion. I'm like, all right, Gary.
Yeah. And every line he said, it didn't just have him parrot it. It was just like Theo on the other line and then Joe on the other line. It was like a phone call.
Yeah. Used by Gary. Gary was the conduit. It was really fun. But yeah, I would even say good job by the actor playing Gary. We didn't look him up because I think that was a pretty good job by him too. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say I like the whole back and forth between Theo and Joe and how they really focus on them both being students of Strauss and how that kept coming up and who was the favorite, who was not the favorite. Like Sean just said, and I like how they both said how Theo said Joe's the favorite, but Theo just followed his ideology better because he just stayed under wraps. And they both it kind of makes it look like they both have this little student rivalry going on, which I thought was cool.
Well, I feel that's why Strauss keeps his students separated just in case for something like that, because he doesn't want them thinning out the herd. He wants all of his students out there causing damage.
That flashback was really nice too, where we got to see in 2002 Joe Carroll's in his classroom, surrounded by beautiful women.
And Pegah would have been one of them. Pegah would have been one of them.
She would have been one of his young students.
And as Pegah said while we were watching it, oh my God, he's so damn sexy.
As a professor, like that suit, and he's just like leaning. Oh, it was just so cute. But
we got to see Theo there.
Yeah, and he's like, what? He was impressed by the way he was breaking down how Poe was under the water, and he was smart being under the water. And he's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "I gotta run." Like,
we gotta go.
If only we heard his name, we would have known it was something before Theo.
Yes.
Because of that thing. Oh well.
Damn,
that was 2002, I believe that flashback was, if I remember correctly. Yes. Anyway, because the FBI figures out about Gary, through the whole phone call thing, and they are able to send people in right. Unfortunately, not in time to save Gary, because Joe Carroll ended up killing Gary, which was, again, a nice little FU to Theo, and takes the glasses, which Theo doesn't even know he has the glasses.
That's crazy.
Which is awesome. But
Joe is so strong that he can just use anything as a weapon. He uses his own body. He just chokes him out with his forearm.
He has no fear.
You would think, though, when the real prison guards come in after that whole thing happened, they would search Joe to be like, what did you take from him? But no,
but
still got his glasses.
He hid it in his bed, though. Like, you would think, they should have turned the whole place upside down.
Right.
But then again, it was such a crazy thing to happen. Like, sometimes people don't think.
Yeah, they probably don't think, unfortunately. And it wasn't like the guard was inside the cell with him. He just was able to choke him out. But they should have checked. They should have checked all around, because what if he had keys, for example? I mean, with that prison cell, I doubt you could just have physical keys. But still, they should have known that he would have possibly taken something. Anyway, all of this happens, and of course, Ryan is forced
to go see him.
To go see Joe. So another delicious scene.
That was a good scene, too.
He's like, why don't we have a sleepover, Ryan? We could just chat all night.
So good.
Yeah.
And never mind the fact that, the Ryan dream at the very beginning. It's again, what is this relationship between these two? Because it feels
brilliant.
Sexual, but it's not, obviously.
It's a total bromance. It's a love-hate relationship, and I have some news and gossip later on to talk about regarding that.
Well,
really good, juicy stuff.
All right, cool. I want to hear that. And the big thing, of course, is Joe just throws Gwen's name out there, and that sets Ryan off. So now that Joe has this information, he finally finds a way to dig at Ryan. And this is the first time we've really seen this season Ryan react that way to Joe. He's been able to keep everything kind of inside.
Like, Joe doesn't bother me. I'm above that. I'm not going to go visit him anymore.
Yeah.
I think that Joe wanted to use this as a way to get into the medical infirmary, so that he could be out of his cell. If Ryan hurt him seriously enough, then he could do something while he's in medical care.
Oh, so you think that was his plan?
I think that was his plan, yes.
Nice little prediction there.
But I don't think as of right now, at least I don't think it worked.
It doesn't look like it's going that route.
It doesn't look like it worked. It worked because the last scene we see with Joe, at least, is him by the bed turning the glasses into a shiv. But, the last shot we see of Ryan, more or less, is we see Ryan has really been affected by this because this was Joe's plan all along to go for the alcohol. So to have Ryan go for the alcohol. So he hasn't had a drink yet.
He hasn't.
He hasn't had a drink yet.
He was close.
So close.
So close.
I was yelling at the TV like, "Don't drink it, Ryan."
But
I wanted him to drink
You're
it.
better than this.
Yeah.
I want him to go over the edge.
Really?
I want to see what that monster is going to look like when he comes out on the other side.
Interesting. Well, we know that I'm guessing that if he was to have a drink, he would not be controllable. He would be, definitely beyond the law again, doing whatever it takes. It would be a very interesting turn if Ryan was to hit the sauce again. Very interesting. And
I'm for it.
You're for it? And Ryan drops the glass because Gwen scares him in the bathroom. But then we get the other last reveal.
And she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. So, okay, look, I know that we've definitely gone off on Gwen before, thinking she's a follower.
Yeah.
What do you think based on everything we saw this episode?
She's having a follower baby. No, I don't think she's a follower anymore, guys.
I don't either.
I'm kind of jumping off that train.
Yeah, after the whole exchange with Joe and Ryan, I really feel like he didn't know who Gwen was at all.
But maybe she's so upset about being pregnant because she's a follower. Because she's like, I was only supposed to be like doing a job, and now I'm pregnant.
I think it's over, Pegah.
Now I'm falling for Ryan, kind of thing.
I don't know.
I don't know about falling for him, but
Well, now I'm stuck with him.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. I think the fact that Theo and Joe didn't seem to know Gwen, and Theo's obviously attacking Gwen because he's attacking Ryan. He was attacking her too with getting her in trouble at work with the meds.
But maybe she's one of Strauss's, and the students don't know who each other are.
That's true too. So there still is a possibility, but we haven't seen much of her other than the fact that she wants to know all the secrets. We haven't seen other proof.
Maybe she's just a really nosy, annoying girlfriend. I mean, it's just starting to look like that. She's just annoying. She's not a follower. She just nosy and annoying.
I just think their relationship.
What are the odds?
I just think their relationship's so weird. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like.
It's just so naggy.
It doesn't feel like Claire. It doesn't feel like like his relationship with Natalie Z's character or other people. I'm just still not, for some reason, a believer in this relationship.
Yeah.
Even if Ryan loves
She's
her.
naggy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
She's good old naggy Claire.
It's a tool.
Anyway.
It's a writing tool.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That pretty much wraps up. I think we got pretty much everything. I only got Daisy. I'm happy. I'm kidding. Anyway, let's move on to some news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Sean Overman.
All right. Well, I know we're running low on time, so let's go ahead and get through these fast. So we got a comment from our YouTube channel that I want to talk about. So Miss Lost Nikita said, "Evermore," which is supposedly where Joe may die in episode 10. Evermore is a part of Poe's "The Conqueror Worm" poem, which is about human mortality and the inevitability of death. So maybe Joe's gonna die. That could be a little bit of a clue.
Well, he's up at death row, so we'll see about that.
I did read the poem. It's an interesting one. Maybe we could talk about it when we have more time in the next episodes we do.
Yeah.
But there was a really funny meme that Kevin Bacon tweeted out from his account. And it was a meme about him and Joe Carroll.
Oh my gosh.
So hilarious. It got 69 retweets, 220 favorites, which I think it should get way more than that. It's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But he tweeted it out a few days ago. And it's so funny because the meme has, it's totally Joe Carroll and Ryan Hardy together in the meme. meme, and they got all this love stuff everywhere. Total romance, love stuff, almost like it's Valentine's Day, but there's contradictions everywhere. So, for example, it says a feud like this: I hate you, smiley face. Leave me alone, but not really. But go away. You and me forever. So great.
That's good. That's good.
Just check it out. Check out the meme. I retweeted it from my Twitter account.
Okay.
We had Monique Kernan, who actually plays Agent Sloan.
Okay.
We got to see a lot of her in this episode. She has a Twitter account as well. I started following her.
Nice.
I tweeted out one of her tweets, and she said, "What a terrific cast to work with. Goodness plus talent." And she tweeted at Jessica L. Stroop and Dial Kyle, at Michael Ely, and at Sean Ashmore as well.
Beautiful.
So it's and she doesn't have that many followers. She only has less than 100 followers. She's only done 30 tweets. So be sure to give her a follow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And all you
Okay.
fans of the following, give her a shout, give her a follow.
She's best known for Dark Knight. She played Detective Ramirez, and the first place I ever saw her was in a show called Daybreak, which was back on ABC, but I think 2006. Great show, by the way. Last thing. Jessica Stroop, aka Max,
my girl.
She tweeted out a photo of her and Monique Kernan hanging out, and it looks like they were doing a little celebration post wrap of the show for this season.
Because they just wrapped. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that about does it for my news and gossip.
My girl Max likes to
Awesome.
drink and party. All right.
And thanks to everybody
I'll see
who
you.
is checking us out and writing on YouTube, and John's shouting them out. And also, we'd love to get some comments on iTunes. I don't think we had any major comments this season on iTunes. So
It's all been YouTube.
It's all been YouTube, but yeah, we'd love to get some stuff. And and again, thanks. And of course, you can keep tweeting at us and using the hashtag ABTV following. So I think let's move on to some predictions.
All right.
So.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
I want to throw this disclaimer out because I warned everybody. There was some serious stuff that went down in scenes from next week. So if you are one of these people, I'm talking to you, Fiction Boy, because I know you always comment on it. If you're one of those people who do not like to see scenes from next week, you're going to want to tune out right now because we were all like, geeking out over this.
So we're allowed to talk about it?
So now we can talk about it.
Okay.
Yes, Fiction Boy or whoever else, click it off for a little bit.
bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Okay, go for it.
All right, my prediction, I think before the episode ends, Joe shall be executed, but before he is executed, he will give Ryan a piece of advice to capture Theo, something he remembers, and we might even see another flashback scene between Theo and Joe Carroll.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Thank you. You like that, Nando?
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I'm proud.
Pegah and I will be distraught if Joe dies.
I will stop watching.
I think, we saw a lot of stuff that went down. We saw Joe's execution goes apparently wrong, or something goes wrong because there's a camera and he's going to set up an execution, and Ryan Hardy sacrifices himself, of course, to save everybody.
Okay, my prediction is, so things are going to go crazy before Joe is going to get executed. Ryan's going to come in and save the day, and then he's going to see that Joe is going to be really useful in finding Theo, and they'll come to some sort of bromance agreement at that point to, like, I'll keep you alive for at least another X amount of days. You're going to help me find Theo. And then, I don't know, some kind of deal is going to be, because there's no way Joe's going to die. There's no way. The following will not be the show that it is without him.
All right. So you think, just to be clear, Michael thinks Joe's a goner. Pegah, of course, is hoping and praying that Joe stays alive.
You can't leave me.
What do you say, Mr. Overman?
Well, there actually has been a petition floating around. I've seen some tweets about it. People have been saying that the following may be canceled for next season. There's a petition. Petition's a big deal. Anyway, to my prediction. I feel like obviously Joe's going to use those glasses as a shiv. He's going to shiv one of the guards.
Yeah.
And the question is, I don't know if it's going to be during the actual execution. It may be, but I also feel like Ryan Hardy's gonna lose it. He's gonna blow a gasket. Maybe his pacemaker is going to come into play again.
Ooh.
Because it seemed like he was getting almost to that point where his heart was pumping pretty bad.
When he attacked Joe, I felt that too. I kind of thought about that.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
All right.
Well, I think you've said some good stuff, and I mean, network upfronts are next month, and the following has not been officially picked up. And this season, I think, in particular, has been so much better than last season. And last season, the following got picked up like that, in spite of a more lackluster season, in my opinion. So I'm hoping, based on what we have here, and plus, don't forget, guys, we've got Mark on the loose and Daisy on the loose. We've got Theo, and if Joe somehow manages to escape, we got a lot of people that Hardy and Mike and Max can go after. So I could see this going on for a while, especially if Joe somehow escapes.
At least season 4.
Season 4, let's do it.
I will say this. I mean, as much as I love Joe Carroll, if he goes, I think that will be an awesome thing for the show, just because I really do feel that the season has been great in spite of not seeing much of Joe. And I felt like, especially last season, having Joe as the main villain kind of, all villains have to die at some point. So if he dies, it would suck, but I'm okay with that. Sorry, Joe. Well, I'm looking forward to what James Pureford would do. He'd probably free him up to do other things, though. So that would
and
be the
maybe
good
come
news.
visit us here at AfterBuzz.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the following after show here on AfterBuzz. Where can we find all you guys on Twitter during the week?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Micheal_Drew, Michael EAL.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at Pegah Rad.
And she periscopes all the time.
I do.
Yes, you do.
You can find me at Sean Austin O on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nando Vel, Nandovel. And you can, of course, check out AfterBuzz for a whole bunch full of other shows that we're all on. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.